Hello, Steve here again on the latest edition of my podcast. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. I'm sure you're going to really enjoy this particular podcast, and I'm sure it's going to benefit you if, and it is a big if you take action. So many people that I speak to don't take action. They listen to podcasts, they watch videos, they attend seminars, they attend webinars, and they buy books, and all they're doing really is just learning more stuff that they fail to implement. They FDI. I always remember a guy telling me that marketing is a little bit like a wheelbarrow. Nothing happens until somebody gets up and pushes it forward. And how true is that? Very simplistic way of putting it, but it's really, really true. So yeah, it's great to, attend events and to learn more stuff. I've spent, 25 years doing that. I dread to think how many books I've read, how many CDs and tape decks, not decks, what's the word? Cassettes. I can't even remember now, it's that long ago. Cassettes I've listened to in my car up and down the motorway for thousands upon thousands of miles, educating myself. I call my car a university on wheels, because I've learned far more actually than I'd ever have learned if I'd gone to university, which I didn't, because I learn constantly, never-endingly, and I learn from the best in the world, and I pass that on to my small business clients. And, and I'm just, one of the biggest, battles is the right word. My biggest frustrations is when people go along, they come to my seminars, attend my workshops and webinars and listen to podcasts, and then they don't actually do anything because, I don't know why, but people sometimes don't do that. It's like everybody knows what to do to lose weight, but they don't actually do it, and everybody knows how to be more healthy, but it's not so much what you know, it's what you do that really matters. And nobody has taught me that more than Tony Robbins over the years. He's certainly one of the people that is my mentor. He wouldn't know it. We've never actually spoken one-to-one, but I certainly consider him to be one of the people who's mentored me through his training courses and webinars and podcasts and CDs and cassettes and so on and so forth. And one of his sayings that I wanted to bring to you today is this, and that is, success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. And that's really the subject of today's webinar. So what do I mean? How's this relate to you in your small business? Well, if success leaves clues, and I do believe it does, then what we need to do really is to understand what is the difference between your business and a successful business, or a business achieving the success that you would like. Now, I'm assuming a few things there. I'm assuming that, your business is not yet at the level you would like it. Hence, you're on a results podcast where it's all about improving your results. So if that is the case, and I'm sure it is, then, it's really a matter of what can you do to improve your results. So let's take any element of your game, your marketing, your sales, your business growth game. And let's say, right, what do we need to do in order to improve it? Well, as I've just suggested, success leaves clues. So let's take the element called sales. Now, how good are you right now on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being awful, you ain't selling, to 10 being brilliant, you couldn't possibly be any better, and 5 being average, and average is really not good enough. 5 is not very many sales. 5 is lots of rejection. 5 is not following up on the phone. 5 is not answering objections very well. 5 is not really having a sales process, and 5 is also not really doing any sales training. Then if you looked around and saw, right, okay, well, who is the best? Who's the best at this? And is there anything I could do that they do that really would justify this saying success leaves clues? So in other words, could you possibly find somebody who's really good at selling, do the same things and get the same results? The answer's absolutely, emphatically, yes. Of course you could. Now, you could find somebody locally. It might be somebody, in your industry. It might be somebody locally that you know. It could be even somebody in your own family that's good at selling. But for me, what I've always liked the idea of is if I want to be good at something, if I want to be good at marketing, I could have gone along to a university and done a degree in marketing and been taught by somebody who's, a lecturer at that university in marketing. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not in any way suggesting that these people are not really good people who know their stuff and, they're academics who, are experienced in that. However, when it comes to, right, how much money have they invested in Google pay-per-click advertising? If I want to learn Google pay-per-click advertising, I could probably go to a university and do a course in it. Or would it be better to go to somebody who's spent like £3 million on Google pay-per-click advertising, and in that time, not only have they spent 3 million, but they've made 20 million, and I could learn from them. For me, it's a no-brainer, and that's why I've always developed the attitude of like, who's the best? So if I come to think, right, okay, I want to redesign my website, I go and have a look at what Apple are doing, because they're reasonable at design, aren't they? They know a thing or two about that. If I wanted to set up an e-commerce site, I'd go to Amazon and have a look at their site. Is there anything does success leave clues on Amazon? Is there anything they're doing that I could adapt for me? I'm not suggesting plagiarism here. I'm not going to copy their website, but just, elements of things, ideas that they've used in that. Now, as far as sales are concerned, go and be sold to. Go on courses. Go and learn from the best in the world. What happens when somebody says, I can't afford it? What is your answer to that? What happens when somebody says there's no budget? How do you structure your sale? When you pick up the phone and call somebody for the first time, what are the things that you say? Now, I'll give you an example of this. I learned a nice little line from a very good friend of mine, a guy called Marcus Cauchi. Now, Marcus is a lovely man. He's actually part of the Sandler training group. He's a Sandler sales trainer, so that's what he does for a living. Now, Marcus, I think with all respect to Marcus, I don't think he'd call himself one of the best, in the world, but he's certainly in the top, 5% of people, and someone I have huge respect for. Now, Marcus taught me this very simple little phrase that you can use almost anywhere, and I wanted to share this with you today, just by way of a demonstration. So when you, for example, go to a networking event, or you meet somebody socially and they ask you, what do you do? Or perhaps even in an email when you're writing to somebody that you've just connected, or perhaps on LinkedIn when somebody you've just connected to on there. And really, once I explain it, you'll understand that this has got multiple uses in multiple places. And this is what it is. So when somebody says to me, tell me, Steve, what do you do? This is my response. I'd say, I help businesses to grow. Some of those businesses have problems with a lack of time for sales and marketing. Others have a problem with a lack of expertise. They simply don't understand modern digital marketing. And a few really don't like marketing, don't want to do it, and so drastically limit the potential of their business. That's it. That's what I do. So I help people who have this problem. So think about this from your point of view. I help people who have this problem. Some of them have that problem. Others have the other problem. And a few have the third problem. So my question to you is, what are the biggest three problems that your potential target market face? What are their biggest three problems? Get them in order and then go through a little script like that. I help people who, some have a problem with this, others have a problem with that, and a few have a problem with something else. And that's what you tell people. And that's just a nice little framework for delivering your 1 minute at a networking event. So you get how having a structure to something can really help you in your marketing. So if you want any more tips, firstly, sign up to my podcast. Why wouldn't you do that? I'd strongly recommend that you do that. So sign up to my podcast. Second step is I've got a report on my website called the Results Report. You can download that and get some great tips and hints and ways in which you can grow your business there. And the third option would be to attend my webinar. Again, you go to my website, you'll see plenty of places where you can go and sign up to the next webinar and get some free online sales and marketing training from me. So that's it. If you want to do that, go to www.stevemills.co. Thanks very much for listening, and I look forward to sharing with you some more tried, tested and proven ways to grow your business next time. Thanks very much.